Hey, how's it going? It's Richard. Just something real quick today. I get a lot of questions about agents, and supposedly the year 2025, if you listen to all the marketing people, is the year of the AI agent. And at the moment, I can think of really two examples of agents that I can show that are legit. And agents are essentially an AI function that will go off and do something for you while you go and do other things. So you give it some kind of instruction and it heads off on a path and then returns results back to you a little bit later, but you're not interacting with it so much. So on the first two that I'm going to talk about, but the only ones today, are deep research. And that's where instead of chatting with just basic answers coming back, you give it a really hardcore question, and the agent is going to spend up to a half hour going out and researching a bunch of information and then come back and producing a report, multi-page report for you. And I'm going to give you an example of that. And then the other is controlling a web browser, which we'll see if it's working today. And that web browser will go out and browse on the web and do some kind of activity for you. So the first one here is under ChatGPT. If you have a paid subscription, actually, I think even in the free now, you get one or two of these per some type of time period. Deep research. And when I did an example, I did a bake-off between a couple of different deep research types of products. The best one that I found was OpenAI's ChatGPT seemed to be the best at the moment. That could change. And I had to come up with a question that was super meaty, super deep. And so I gave it information about a autoimmune disorder that I have, which is, not too big about that, but it's a deep subject that I know really well because I've lived with it for many years. And I gave it a question of, hey, tell me about all the latest trends and treatments in this particular area. And even though it says it ran for 9 or 10 minutes, it actually ran for 20 minutes because I kept coming back and checking on it and it was still going. So I'm just going to, rather than show it running, um, here is the research that it did. And you can see where I'm just scrolling right now. I'm just trying to get to the top. I asked it about different, treatments for this, and it came back with an overview of it, FDA approved treatments, and then it went into more on the edge, groundbreaking experimental therapies, and it broke everything down, came back with citations on where it's getting that information from. And you can see this is not your typical chat GPT answer. This is pretty deep. And I chose this because it's something that I know if it's hallucinating, I would be able to tell. So it went through this whole report, came back. Actually, I kind of learned some stuff, which I like to think I was up on the latest things, but there were things here. So I actually learned a lot. And then it comes back, and you can see here it's quoting the sources that it went out to. Now, it actually went out to many more than this. I think it was like 70 or 80 different sites that it went to. And then I asked it some follow-up questions, and it went back out again. And it took, worked hard on the answer and came back. I put it into a project. So I kind of kept it away from all my other chats and stuff. So it's really, really fascinating. I recommend that if you have a family member or somebody that's struggling with any kind of, condition, even though you have to check AI answers, you have to make sure it's not hallucinating. It can be inspirational in giving you a direction, at least come up with things that you would want to talk to your doctor about. You would show them, hey, here's some research I did. Can you tell me what's up? And always listen to the advice of your doctor, not a computer. But that is other things you can do as a business plan, like really, really deep, complex questions where you might be doing a research project on the advent of the charging network in Los Angeles. You know, what does that look like? How has that changed over the past few years? And it will go out and pull all that data down. So the next one I'm going to show, I hope, is where we're going to go to. This is a tool that we're going to do a webinar and a couple of podcasts on. This Abacus AI. Super cool tool. It allows us to flip to multiple different paid models. So you're able to flip on the fly one, two different models because they all kind of behave differently and can produce different results. So this ends up becoming like a carpenter having multiple different tools in a bag. This kind of becomes that bag where you're picking stuff. So we're going to do a whole thing on that. But one of the tools in the bag is an agent, and this is this computer agent here. And it's going to, I'll click it to get it started. It's going to fire up a fake web browser inside a container. And then on the side over here, you can chat with this fake computer session, and you can ask it to go out to the web and do certain things on your behalf. Now, the idea is as you become proficient with this interface, which I'm not at the moment, you would go in and say, go to the Instacart and look for these items, put them in the shopping cart, and come back to me when you're ready to order. And that's something that would be on a browser tab off doing its thing while you're doing other things. You'll then get a bonk, a ping, or whatever. You'll come back and it's found all the stuff and put it in the cart. You can have it go and create a dinner reservation in a separate tab. So you can have this as an agent run out and go do these things for you. So I am going to see if I can get it to go to uh, to netsuite.com, log in as Randall at mbsg.com, and search for the client. Rooted. I have no idea if this is going to work. So what people show is they show it going to Instacart, they show it going to Uber, trying to do that. They show it going and looking and doing research on TVs. What's the best TV to buy? They show it going to, again, buying groceries, those kinds of things. I myself am interested in seeing if it will actually log into like a QuickBooks online or NetSuite, that kind of thing. So I think it would be interesting to see. Okay, so it's getting to the login screen. And what we can see is on the left side over here is it's talking to itself. Oh, okay, let's enter the email address. Let's go and do this. So let's see. I actually am probably going to have to find my password. So I'm going to pause this. Okay, let me just move this over here. Now we're finally logged in. Took me a while to get my password in and multi-factor. Let's see if it's able to go and find my client. So it did get to NetSuite. It did pause. I did have to log in, which I'd rather log in than to pass that through the chat for security's sake. Let's see if I can get it to go in. Can you find the client? So let's see what it'll do. This is our live accounting system, by the way. So let's see what it does. Wow, this is crazy. Sini, what would you like to do? Okay. So again, these are typical things that you would have when you first log into NetSuite. So I think if I worked with it for a while, I could type in commands over here once I get it settled in and stop with all the pop-ups and get it to be able to do certain things in NetSuite because NetSuite's in a browser for me, and it could do those things while I'm off doing something else. Again, uh, they always show other tasks like, uh, let's see if I can get it to do this. New task. Can you navigate to Best Buy? Look for the best uh, Bluetooth headset. We'll see if it. This is the typical thing that they show, looking for headsets or whatever. So going to Best Buy, that kind of thing. I just don't. It's gonna do it, um, but I want to try to work with this to see if I can do things inside of a web-based accounting system. Let me see. And obviously, this has a little ways to go. I think you could get it to. I have seen people get this to do very, very rudimentary things. So you can save in here bookmarks, you can save in there passwords, and what you can do is on a daily or excuse me, a weekly basis say, hey, go into Instacart and buy the list of these things. And I've seen it do it. And there's videos on the web that show that. I'm more interested because we do a lot of web shipping software, web accounting software of saying, hey, can you go in to the accounting software and do this particular function? So to me, that would be an agent that would help me out. So anyway, um, what we were talking about today are two different kinds of agents. One is a deep discovery, deep thinking agent that will go out and do a report for you. And the other is a computer agent, which takes over a browser and does certain things for you on your behalf. And I just need to spend more time in this, but that's the two kind of agents that are real agents. There's lots of other ones that are out there, but I don't really see where it's almost like they do a specific search. This is where it truly could potentially go out, be working on another browser tab while you are doing other things. To me, that's an agent. So again, if I find some other stuff or have some updates on this, I'll let you know. And that's all for now. Thanks. Bye.